we're gonna move to the steps to see if there is something that happens when we get closer, and then I'm gonna just take some pictures. I'm hearing Algonquins. Algonquins are here. Yeah, this feels like a lot of energy here. All right, as I sit on this bench here, I'm gonna see if I feel anything different. It's almost as if there's a connection to people here that is indescribable. It feels like there's a powerful pull from beyond that energizes me even more here. And the power is connecting me to say that this is a challenging space to be in, because there was a lot of energy here at the power of the people who came here to connect. And it's different than you would expect. It's something about a person in black who came here to sit upon this very bench or this energy and be connected with it. So there's a lady here who likes this property. She was tall, good-natured, had this way about her that you would say she was very, something about feeble though. She wasn't feeble, she was strong. Very had this way about her where you were not to cross her, because she would get very angry, and she was really personable, but when you crossed her, she was not a nice person. Talking about temperaments flaring, they were very, like, a lot of tempers flaring, angry, very angry energy. The energy here, like, you do feel anger, energy, yeah, they're saying anger. People connected to negative energy here that were pushing to have their voices heard and be riled up, like really getting the energy of having to be about figuring stuff out and pushing things out and going. There's somebody here who would like to speak. There's a gentleman here who's got this kind of way of talking where people, he had like a southern drawl. He would be around people talking about the way that he was, just had this energy of assisting people, getting back together again, coming back together again, and moving on. He's wanting to know that we are not going to be hearing too much from him, but he's just sharing quickly that his energy is about giving people this way of speaking out and being connected to power within that.
That was really going off the light. Your light was a second ago.
What did he want to say? He was pushing to talk about one thing in particular before he leaves. He wants us to know there were not a lot of people here. It was more small group that came together to just get things together before moving on. And when you think about how many people come together to organize, it's not like that. This was a smaller group, like a cavalry that came together to just push their energy forward and get it together. It's almost, he's saying there's a challenge to speak clearly here, Nancy. He wants me to speak more clearly. All we did was push our time together to make an effort to get things going in the right direction, to connecting better with people, to push them into the place where they need to be to fight the forces. And when you shift the energy like that, nothing can go wrong, but things did go wrong. Things were dark and stormy for a while and really aligned negatively. And there were times where they felt like giving up or would have given up, but they had to keep going to persevere because it was very meaningful and important for it to continue on fighting. There's just energy to know that they weren't not ever giving up and connected better at this location before moving on to a new one later on down the road. Okay. There was a time where they were pushing their minds together in this room behind me, and they really thought through their plan of attack and how they were going to push out of here and move without getting dead. Does that make sense? They like to be powerfully moving where there was a day to do it and not a day before or after. Timing was of the essence. It wasn't to take any minute longer, for there were times that they would have lost. It was like a balance to gain strength and not lose momentum. They had to fight when it was like prime. And that was very important to share, that they were telling themselves and figuring out when, like, the strike had to occur in order for the most effect to happen.
Yeah. What went wrong? Or, I mean, what?
There wasn't a lot of time to prepare as much as they would have preferred, but they had to fight the enemy at that time, and it was expanding. They had like something about containing expansion, and it wasn't as if they could have felt any different if they had waited. It was what they had at that time, and that was as much as they could do. There's also some people here that are surprising to understand as much as you can that they were here too. There were people providing meals. There were people who were giving them food, rations, and having to say, this is all you get, because there wasn't a lot of food at that time. It was almost as if they had to just figure it out to sustain them for a little bit. They actually stored food for a time because that would have helped them through longer days or longer nights, and where there was not a lot of food to provide for them. It wasn't easy here at all. There was so much energy in the negative of just having to get through as well as battle, and it wasn't as much as you would have now, lots of food to replenish. Never sit back and relax. They were always on guard, always. You want to be really powerful and challenging yourself to be specific about where and when and what you did without being seen, because people were out to get you, always out to get you, always out to get you, and never took a day off from that. You would be disguised in some ways and would be about finding the energy to be, what can I do? Where can I go? How can I be seen or not seen? And didn't want to be seen by others because you were not wanting, you were like an enemy territory or something. And it was hard to be powerful as much as you wanted because there wasn't, you weren't able to, or something like that. It's just so much different now where you can go, even if you're against people and your mindset against others. And then back then you never wanted to be seen as different. Somebody else wants to say something. It's a gentleman who wants to say that he's about finding people now, to say he's going to find people now to be connected with and helping others fight the battle. He's like, the battle isn't over. Even their battle is never over. He says there's more battles to be fought, and he's wishing he was doing more energy work at this time, even helping in some way, but he's doing what he can. Coming here today was about challenging ourselves with the energy and seeing that their stories can be shared, but he's also giving a little insight to the way things were back in those days. It was dark, it was stormy, it was awfully hard. He would have time at night to connect with others over a small fire, but not big. He wanted fires to be small, not seen. In some ways, he says he was sick at times, fought even when he was sick, especially when he was sick. You see, when I'm sick, I knew that I was important for me to get done before I died. And that was imperative to say that you didn't have long in this life at that time. But when we're talking now, we see challenges in our lives. We think we have all the time in the world. We don't. He's saying that to us as a message to take away, is to live your life to the fullest, knowing your next day, your days are numbered, never knowing when your days will end, and to be as best as you can in that life for yourself and others, and be beautiful. He's wanting us to know that challenges are always going to arise in any lifetime, but instead of feeling that that's a sacrifice or hard or challenge, worst case scenario is difficult, he says to see the power and seeing the beauty and the power that you bring to others and joining forces or being connected to positivity as often as you can. He says he was dark in those days. Oh man, so dark, but he connected with others and made a difference in lives. And sometimes it's just one domino that you're a part of, not the whole thing. But he says he was about just doing his part to be the strongest domino in the row and helping others bring things down. And if you were to talk about one more thing before we go, he says there's just a lady here. She keeps wanting to pop in her head, but she's not some little feeble lady. She's so strong, so empowered, and so enormous in her energy. And she's a beauty, he says about her. She was a beautiful woman. And she's talking about her energy here is just energized with this land, and to tell you that it's all good here, nothing bad, even if it is others that come here to support you in this way. It's always great to hear that you create the energy ahead of time, the intention to connect with positive light, and that she's here as a positive lighthouse for others. She's a positive lighthouse for others, always, 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 to join here in the life, leading this light forward, but also in her life she led light forward for as well, because she was a gorgeous woman in her power, that she's strength and power of who she was, to be a light for others, a light for others. And she's calling out to me in particular to be a light for others and assisting them and seeing that they also to have light, to be a light for others. There are many lighthouses, in lighting the way for others. Deciding how big a light you want to shine is your priority or your decision, but she's saying to light up and be beautiful for others to see, so that they can become their best light as well. She's giving us gratitude for sharing our words here today, for it gave them energy and power, and to speak about what they found here on this property, but knowing, come back again, for there's much more to share, and she will be here always, and wants us to just say gratitude, thanks for being here, and we give thanks to you as well.
What's her name?
Oh, good question. She's a lady who would have been connected to more people than you would ever know. She says she helped others. Would have taken time out from her day every day to give back to others, and that's all she'll tell us. She would not want to share her name because that's insistent upon us not to be connected to the ego or anything like that. But wanting to us to be shifting our energy to what she said. Her words matter. Her words matter. Her words matter, and that's what matters. Her words matter. Not the feeling or the energy of her name, but the energy of her speech is what she hopes will be long everlasting. Long everlasting. Imagine my name, but not one more time. My name is not. That's me, Nancy. Get in the way. Says her name would not be understood by others in this way, but it mentioned her name is a creative way of saying it is assisting others. Her name is about assisting others, and her name assisting others. A name assisting others. Was say to herself, we want to be who we are for our own pride and not a pride of others, to see that we matter to how we live our lives and be the best example for ourselves, and others will follow suit. Try to be the best you can, for I am saying that to you, Nancy and Kenny, to challenge yourselves to be best of your light for others to shine, and that will be creative and the best way forward. She's handsome.